Don't really know. I thought today would be easy. I thought today would be throw that jack post in, pull the cradling off, and go home. What's up, everybody? So we're back at the house. Pretty excited to be here and take the insulation off of our little footer. My goal this morning is to put in the jack post and hopefully be able to take out the rest of these 4x4 posts, this cradling, if you will, that I built a couple months ago at this point. And then hopefully we'll be able to get some more that'll clear things up. We can finish cleaning up these odds and ends of random things and make the floor all nice and ready for the stone. We had to end up getting a little more stone. We ran out. If you forgot, or if you're new here, go check out that video, and yeah, we'll get moving here. So there we go. Some of the insulation stuck to the top, but that's not a big deal. Looking good. Just gotta put our post in. So one of the other things we gotta make sure we do with these posts is make sure they're perfectly plumb. Both ways, always. Beautiful. To be honest, looks pretty good. Still makes me really nervous to pull these suckers out. I'm honestly trying to think of a way that I could do it. Like, what's the best way to do it? So it looks good. I do know that the beam up there is sagging a little bit. A few months back, I had a laser in here. and I think I pushed it up a little bit since, so this isn't perfectly accurate, but that line there was level with my end of the beam down on that end of the wall. And that's probably a little bit over an inch, or was at that time. And so now it's probably a little less than that. But I'm kind of nervous to start pushing that up to where it's supposed to be level, in part because of how this is arranged. So I think I need to get something in here to help hold that where it needs to be, where it's supposed to be better. So I might, this wasn't really on my plan to-do list today, but I might try to put in like a little stud pack. So see what I got for lumber. All right, smart people, give me your comments. I wanted to put a couple studs right underneath the beam, which would land about here. But as I looked more, there's the 2x4 plate. It's a little bit rotted out here. Seems like, seems more like dry rot than wet rot. But you can see there's some here too. Rotted a little bit. What the previous person did, it looks like they dug it out. They dug it out to a little bit. There's some rocks or something here underneath this. They put a 4x4 piece of wood underneath and then try to mortar it in a little bit. I'm curious how far down this way they did that. Can't put a stud pack down to this if there's nothing underneath it to support it. Now I feel like I'm looking at more bags of concrete, at least in this section, this area, to re-support that. Or could I build it down with something else, with like pressure treated to what's there? Don't really know. I thought today would be easy. I thought today would be throw that jack post in, pull the cradling off and go home. I might still be able to do that. Maybe I should throw some more lags in. Maybe I could put a post here. Just something somewhat temporary so that I can go home and sleep tonight. One thing I also didn't mention in the other video about this piece is that the sheetrock is actually behind this 2x6. So that's cool. So my thought now is I'm curious how much weight this thing is actually holding. Because reality, it can't be that much, because this stuff would have torn out. It must have been added after. It was added after the sheetrock. So maybe it's more of a temporary, not a temporary support, maybe it's more of a leg to lean on than anything else. Not actually originally structurally incorporated, which I would believe. But I also believe that it was here for a purpose. So it can't be that much weight on it, right? The more I push, the more I hear faint cracks somewhere in here. Or I don't know if it's cracking or like crunching, I guess. Could be up here. Makes me nervous though. I think I do find some comfort though in kind of realizing that this wasn't here originally, and so while it's still needed and is holding a bit of weight, there's some comfort in thinking that maybe if this cracks or breaks, the whole thing isn't just gonna collapse on top of me. There's a bit of comfort in that, I'll admit it. So I can take one side apart and down. I could probably get this out of here. And I wish I had a bigger plate of steel or something to go here, because I don't like this very much. Maybe I can find some steel and drill some holes in it. Some good, better plate steel, drill some holes in it, and so this has more to set on. It doesn't have a whole lot to set on, and only got a couple screws in there holding it in place. Again, I'm kind of confident that it'll stay here, but I don't want to keep pushing it up with what is here. Or do I just take the gamble, take it all apart, take it all down, and leave? Because reality is I can't get the stone and the concrete floor in here if this is still here. But as soon as the floor is in, I can build a temporary wall and redo to hold all these joists on both sides of the beam and reset the beam or put a new one in, or that's kind of why I'm waiting on the floor. That's why I'm excited about the floor. I'd like to get a whole new beam, LVL beam all the way through and not even need this jack. But that's a big beam. And I don't know how to, well, I know how to, but that's a lot of support. Okay. So not bad. We did pretty good. Looks pretty solid. Thinking about a plate, a bigger plate for that, which I think will be good and helpful. There's a little bit of bow here, and this that you probably can't see from the camera. I need to do some studs. I need to do a stud pack or something here underneath this down. We had to refill that with concrete. Maybe do a new sill there. The beam doesn't come all the way to the wall, so I'm trying to think about what to do about that. So I don't really know where I left you guys off in my thinking process. I've been standing here for now for a little while. Step one, I'm gonna get a bigger plate. So I'm gonna leave the cradling for now so that I can lower it back down, put a new plate on, maybe. I wanna figure out a better situation for this, even in the temporary, which means I'm going to likely get a couple bags of concrete, refill in down there, and put in a new sill plate. At least that spans 8 feet or so. And then I'm going to install a stud pack that'll go from the base up, catches whatever it can catch, leave what's there for now, maybe even put another stud on this side and use what's there. Drill, put some big lags in so that there's like triple the security on this end for now. That'll take care of this side of the beam, the middle. The other side I'm fairly confident with right now. So I gotta get those things in place before we pour concrete. The other major issue that I was looking at is the sill plate from basically where the beam comes down here over and through likely to the corner. So that means I gotta figure out if I gotta move this or take this out, what to do with that. And give me, I know I mentioned this before, but give me some ideas as far as how to remove a sill plate that's kind of in use. That span is probably 12 to 16 feet. That span over there on the other side is probably only 8 foot. I haven't cleared everything off, but I think a majority looks okay. I might have to replace from this corner to the door, and I'll reset the door when I put my new door, when I put the new door in. That'll look different for the underneath the door anyway. That side looks pretty good, except for this one area where the so let me know if you have any ideas about jacking up the house. I know I had mentioned it. Some of you guys gave me some comments before that I remember looking at. I just got to figure out a good way to do it, safe way to do it. Other than that, I know I didn't get really far, but opening more up and dealing with more only ever makes me have more questions, and so that's where I feel like I'm at anyway, or I'm still at. So yeah, leave a comment down below what you think. If you have any other ideas for this beam, for this post, for the sill, for the house in general. Yeah, if you like the video, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and follow along as I figure out the rest of this mess. Thanks.